Hi there and welcome to With Wanza. My name is Wanza. Thank you so much for being here. It's nice seeing you. I hope that you have subscribed to my channel. Have you? If you have not, please do me a favor and subscribe so that you don't miss when I'll share my next video. Last time I shared about the story of Joseph from Genesis chapter 37 to 50, and I shared 2 lessons. If you have not watched the video, you can go and watch it in my channel. Is it on my channel or in my channel? Watch it here. And today I still wanted to share about the story of Joseph and share 2 more lessons. And I wanted to focus on the long wait and betrayal. You know, sometimes when God gives us promises, there can be the long wait. You know, sometimes when God speaks, you probably expect that the thing will just take place today or tomorrow or next week, you know, or soonest possible. But that's not always the case. Sometimes when God gives a promise, when he says that he's going to do something, it can take longer than you thought it would. So there's the long wait, what I'm calling the long wait, the period of waiting. And then there's also the story of betrayal. And so I wanted to look at these 2 things from, again, the story of Joseph and his brothers. And very briefly, we know that when Joseph was given 2 dreams, he shared them with his father and with his brothers. And we know that the brothers were not happy with him because he was loved by the dad. And so they plotted to actually do away with him. And we see that there's a place where the brothers were plotting to throw him in a cistern, you know, and eventually they decided, no, let's just sell him to these people, these merchants that are going to Egypt, and that's what they did. And so I just wanted to probably, when we know that when Joseph went to Egypt, it took 13 years for the dream that God had given him to come to pass. And those 13 years were not years of just waiting patiently and, you know, just rejoicing because of this promise that God gave him. They were long years, they were difficult years. You know, we know that when he went to Potiphar's house, he was falsely accused by Potiphar's wife. And because of that, he landed in prison. And he was there for quite some time until the time when King Pharaoh called for him so that now he would become the governor after he interpreted the king's dreams. And so the waiting, 13 years is not an easy time, you know, when God has given you a promise. And it is possible that some of you or some of us, God gives a promise and you're waiting for a long time and you're like, God, did you even speak and say that this thing was really going to happen? I don't know whether you have been in that position, but it is a big possibility that majority of us that God speaks to are in that space where God has spoken something, but then it reaches a point that it's taken too long until you begin to doubt whether God spoke about it. God gave you a promise that I was going to use you in such and such a way, but it has taken so long you're beginning to doubt the word and you're like, did you even speak, God? Did I even hear you, or did you even speak at all, you know? And I just wanted to encourage you and to encourage myself that sometimes when God speaks, it can actually take time before the dream comes to pass, before the vision comes to pass, before the word comes to pass. It can take time. And we can learn this from the story of Joseph, that even though it takes time, the Lord will still make it come to pass. You know, Joseph went through a season of 13 years of waiting. He was in the prison. He was going through all these challenges, and probably he doubted or he questioned what God told him. And we see that at the end of it all, the dream still came to pass. And so if you have given up on what God has spoken to you, today it's an encouragement to you that do not give up on that which God has promised you, on that which God has told you he will do through you, on that which God has spoken concerning your life. the Lord is saying that he's still able to do it and that he will do it. All right. So let that be the encouragement. The other thing that I wanted to address is the story of betrayal. It's interesting because most of the time betrayal comes from the people closest to us, and that is why it hurts the most. You know, you don't really care so much when you're hurt by people who you don't really care about or you're not very close to, but when you're hurt by people that are really close to you, that can really get to you. And so are you listening to me and you're in a space where you've been hurt? You know, in the process of this waiting, it comes with a lot of challenges, and one of them is you will face betrayal from people that you thought are supposed to help you, are supposed to be there for you, are supposed to be your cheer people, you know, cheer leaders. And those are the people sometimes that will actually hurt you. Those are the people that will tend to want to block that which God is doing in your life. And we see in the case of Joseph, the brothers, not the friends. The brothers are the ones who are actually hurting Joseph, you know, plotting to throw him in some hole somewhere that he may be eaten by wild animals, you know, and they ended up selling him as a slave, not his friends, but his brothers. So it is possible that you have faced betrayal from people that you feel should not have betrayed you. You're like, why would my blood sister, my blood brother, my blood this and that betray me? Why would my mother or my father betray me? Why would someone that I call my close friend, you know, someone that is very dear to me, betray me? Those are the questions sometimes we ask. But when we ask those questions, we can remember that Joseph was actually betrayed by his brothers. But how did he deal with it? You know, when Joseph was made the governor in Egypt, the brothers came to look for food. And when he saw them, he had all the power in the world to really punish them and to get back at them for what they did to him. But Joseph did not do that. Instead, he really just accepted them and embraced them. I think when he saw them, he had a flashback of everything that happened. And it was not an easy time for him. But he ended up reconciling with his brothers, and he did not revenge for what they had done to him. It's like Joseph left the revenging to God. He left the whole situations in the hands of God. And so what is the lesson that we are learning here? That even as people betray and hurt us, we should have the same spirit as that of Joseph, a spirit of forgiveness, which is not easy. It is not always easy to leave things in the hands of God, but we can ask God to help us, that we may leave the situations in his hand, you know, those situations that we feel have really hurt our lives. And God is able to take care of the whole situations. You don't have to take the matters in your own hands and say, because these people have done this to me, I will be the one to revenge to them. I have the power now to do it. You know, sometimes it's when God has already now made you the person that he said you will be. And that's when you have the power in your hands to actually hold it against the people that have wronged you, the people that have sinned against you. You know, but the Lord is reminding us today that we should not take matters in our own hands, but we should leave matters in his hands, and he will take care of it. You know, ours is to forgive, ours is to just surrender to God, that he may help us to get out of that place of being hurt. You know, there's also the place of addressing the heart, and we can take our pain to God and tell him, Lord, help us. And by the grace of God, God is still able to help us, even to love those that have hurt us. And please, a disclaimer, I'm not saying that when people are betraying you and hurting you that you should just sit there and absorb that hurt and pain. Sometimes the Lord will lead you to actually do things like have some space between you and them, and that's okay. The key thing is that God would want us to work towards forgiveness, towards forgiving those that wrong us. That is the key thing that I'm saying here. So I hope that this has blessed you. And just like the story of Joseph ends with God fulfilling his promises, remember that despite the challenges that you face, the Lord is still able to fulfill that which he said he will do. He's able to help you to deal with the betrayals, and he's able to make the promise come to pass. Despite the time, you know, the tiring that can be there, the Lord is still able to make that promise come to pass. So put your trust in Him, and take courage, and take courage and wait upon the Lord. Amen. This message is not just for you guys. I also speak to myself as the Lord speaks to us. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. If you have not, please make sure that you subscribe and share this video with someone that you know it can encourage. I really get inspired when I hear even one story like your story really encouraged me. That really inspires me. And so if I'm making a difference in a small way, I am happy. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful time. Until next time when I post. Bye.